A belief in a limitation is more powerful than the limitation itself. There is something living inside your gut, inside your unconscious mind, inside your heart that you have thought of that has excited you when you thought of it. And then there was that moment when you started going through all of the tasks in your head. And it's like, well, what's it going to take? Well, what am I going to have to learn that I don't currently know? What do I have to become to achieve the thing that I want to achieve? Here's what I'm here to tell you. It is the belief in the belief that is stopping you, not the actual truth. So that might sound like a bunch of gobbledygook or mumbo jumbo or whatever. But when you understand that the thing you want is actually the only thing in between you and it is your commitment to the belief that what is standing in your way is true. I have this saying that I use for my podcast, and it's the idea of believe, belong, become. And so when you're looking at that thing you want to accomplish, at that business you want to start, at that 100 pounds you want to lose, at that marathon you want to run, at hitting next pinnacle, the 7 figures, landing your dream job, whatever that looks like. At the beginning of that journey, you're looking up the mountain and thinking, holy crap, that's a big mountain. What we sometimes fail to recognize, though, is as we start walking, there's the saying, you can't steer a parked car, right? You can't know all the pieces before you start, but as you start walking and as you start climbing, what you will find is who you be and who you become is changing. So think about that for a second. At the starting line, looking up at the top of the mountain that you want to ascend, it seems like the person who is able to do that isn't me. What I'm telling you, though, is that in the process of just taking one step at a time, you become the person who ascends the mountain. If you use in conjunction with that, surrounding yourself with people who normalize and demystify that sort of achievement, again, whatever that is for you, you will find that when times get tough or when you struggle or stumble, which inevitably you will find that you will look to your left and you will look to your right and you have people that are surrounding you going, yep, no, that's fine, you got it. And it's that community that oftentimes keeps you going. So a belief in a limitation is more powerful than the limitation itself. So what happens if we completely eradicate that belief? So I'm going to share a story with you. It's a true story. And it's about a guy named George B. Dantzig. George B. Dantzig was attending Berkeley University in a very, very high level math class. So George rolls into class one day and he's super late. In fact, he's so late that he rolls in just for the end of the class and the professor has written 2 math problems on the board. So George quickly jots down the 2 problems and he goes home and he's going to figure them out and hand them in or whatever. So the first math problem, no problem. He tickety-boo, goes through it, easy peasy. The second one, though, is a monster. He's struggling with it and he's wrestling with it and he's toiling with it and he has to step away for a bit and then he comes back to it. And then finally, he finds the solution for this problem. And he struggles with this for quite a while. So he hands the work in to the professor and the professor reaches out and asks him to come in for a meeting. So he's thinking, like what's up with that? But what he finds is he gets to the meeting and his professor said, you have just made mathematical history. Because what George didn't hear, tying back to he didn't know because he didn't have the belief, and the belief in a limitation is more powerful than the limitation itself. What he didn't hear was the professor say, the first question is your homework. The second question, if you've got some spare time or just want to challenge yourself, is a problem that has been deemed unsolvable by the greatest math minds in the world. But George didn't hear that piece. So my question for you is, if anything were possible, because it is, and if you were able to become whomever you needed to become to achieve that dream of yours, what would that look like for you if you never heard the information that it was unlikely or it was impossible or it's never been done before, who would you have to become to achieve your dream? Go become them.